Hey everyone, this is Andrew, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about a very cool plugin I think that pretty much every music producer and musician that records themselves should have, and that is Movement by Output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a piano sample from the Cymatics Omega Pack that came out this month, and this is the sample just for your reference. Alright, and I'm going to go to my plugins, and I'm going to go to Output, Movement, and drag this puppy on. So as you might have been able to figure out from the name, Movement is all about moving things around. And it does this by creating 4 different LFOs that you can assign to a bunch of different sources or different effects inside of the plugin. So I'll just use this number 1 effect. We'll hit play. So already a lot's happening. It is getting delayed, it's getting filtered, it's panning left and right, it's pulsating, and that's just, one preset. If I go to the next preset, you'll hear something completely different, hopefully. Now, without even diving into actually how to control the plugin, if I go in here, and so you click this preset browser, and you get a very detailed way to navigate through these presets. So if I want something that's evolving and slow, delayed, wavy, spacey, and subtle, you'll end up with some sound. So as you can see, there's hundreds of these things. Trailing delays, let's give that a try. And there we go. So already you have a completely different sound. So without even diving into how to control this thing, you have a absolutely crazy amount of sounds. So I just click this initial patch, and I'm just going to play around with some of the sounds so you can hear how you can actually sculpt your own sounds instead of just relying on these presets. Now it's very easy. One way you can just drag sounds on, or drag LFOs onto various parameters, and then you can go in here and you can change the frequency. So I'm going to click play, and I'm just going to poke around for a bit. This slider here changes the depth of the effect. And I'll put a delay. How about that? So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go to the step sequencer thing, and I'm going to slow it way down. And I'm going to do this so that inside of the delay control, I can use the step to control the dry wet knob. So now it's going to alternate between pretty wet, or how about very wet, and all the way dry. I'll move this somewhere in the middle. There we go. That should actually make it go from max to min. I'll click play. It's a little too aggressive. I don't want the 100% of the wet signal. I'd rather have it be like 50-50 mixed. So I'll do that. So that's all good. Now I'm going to go to this LFO in rhythm 3, and I'm going to change the rate to be 16th. And how about we change the shape and make it this like random kind of thing. So now we'll drag that onto pan, and then now it should, these kind of stack together in a way. And then in this signal, I'm going to put on some reverb, kind of wet. Actually, I'll drag that onto the end, and then in the beginning, I'll do some distortion, and then I'll do some filtering. So the filtering, the filtering, bring down the cutoff, and I'm going to bring up some drive. So pretty quick, I have a very controllable patch. Now there is also this XY slider in the middle, so if you want to assign that to anything, what would I want to put that to? I could do like distortion and change the dry wet knob, assign it to the XY control, and now I can change this X slider position. So now if I move this around, it's going to control that range. So I can bring it that to 0, if I bring it all the way up, and it flips around. So now I can actually have a XY control that does something. And then the way this works is that the blue matches to the blue and the red matches to the red, so you can control both effects simultaneously. So if I go over here, maybe I do filtering and I add the XY control to this dry wet knob. Now I do that. If I leave this step view, now you can see actually if I do this, you'll see if I move it vertically, I have control over that. So you can map this around to a ton of places. And if I go in here, you can actually change the rhythm amount as well. So you can influence the modulators with this assignable thing. So I'll just go around and I'll pick some things, XY control. Let's do that. I'll just start messing with stuff. XY control, do that. Distortion, how about we'll do filter, XY control. Knob range, I don't have rhythm on there. Now I'll click play and I'll just move this around. Now, one thing I wondered, and I haven't actually tried this, so it'll be an experiment. If I hit configure and add this, oh boy. So now what I can actually do, basically what I just did is I added a macro control to the slider. So now I have the X, Y slider A and B. So I'm guessing it's this is A and this is B. I'm going to go into Max for Live Audio Effect LFO. And that's going to load, and I'm going to map. Oh, once it loads, map that control to this slider, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to map this one to that one. And I'm going to flip the ranges and have them move in different amounts. And that's actually kind of stupid. So I'm going to delete that one. To get out of this view, I'm going to add another LFO tool, and now I can do this, and I can put the rates to different amounts, and let's see, there we go. Yeah, that seems a little more natural. So if you think about what we have right now, we have 4 LFOs, or I guess I'm only using 3, but we have potentially 4 LFOs controlling 6 effects and then volume and pan. And in addition to that, we have an XY mod wheel that's assigned to a random selection controlling both those LFOs that were assigned and just general knob controls that weren't affected. And then I have 2 essentially random value LFOs from Ableton Live randomly controlling the XY slider. So it's a little bit intense to think about, but this is one of the closest ways you can get to having a modular synth-like control, or I guess it's not really you doing it, but a modular synth-like amount of LFOs inside of your DAW. You have a bunch of random stuff. I mean, some of it's controlled and synced to your DAW, but you have a pretty precise control over everything, and you can actually go in here and there's all these different timing options, and then there's this flux knob, which honestly I've never even touched. But there's chaos and start phase. You can switch between this, and then there's like patterns that predetermine. There's random patterns that you can generate. You can even do a sidechain mode, and if you send audio into the sidechain, you can gain it up. You can add attack, release, offset, and then you can use whatever's coming in as a sidechain to control any of the sources inside of this entire plugin. And then you could, of course, control those with external LFOs inside of Ableton Live. So absolutely mind-blowing plugin that's incredibly powerful. Enjoy this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing for more. I upload videos every single Friday, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Taste, if not such a delicacy.